Welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3. Draw out your neck. Stick out your chin. Then retract it. 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. Turn at your hips and waist. Peek at the heel of your opposite foot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, touch, touch, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight to the left. Good Tai Chi posture. Kick your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use your ankle by flexing it to touch your butt. 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up your span, parallel feet, choose the right side. Cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so challenging ourselves now. Ken read an article, and I'm sure he'll tell you more about it, but it's important that when we do our exercises to make use of all the muscles that are needed to get the bigger movement accomplished. So with the kicking of the butt, when you kick up this way, you should be also flexing your ankle. And a lot of times what we do is this. I can't even do it. We're stiffening up our ankle. So the belief in this research says that no matter how much you want to do a golden cockerel, every little bit of muscle, the knee, the joints of the elbow, everything goes into play to help you to get that way. To help us now strengthen our ankle, I'm going to introduce two movements taken from Luk Tongken, okay? So these will help you in that. Yes, you're going to have to shift your weight, and yes, you're going to have to center yourself, and yes, you will flex your ankle. So we're going to watch first, we're going to shift our weight to the left, and we're going to ride our bicycle backwards by pretending 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flexing forward, riding the bicycle, pressing down on that pedal by using our ankle to get down that pedal, okay? And then the other side. So what you can imagine is that you have a big pile of sand in front of you, and you want to kick up the sand, okay? So take your time, but here again now, what are you going to rely on? Just the image? No, you're going to think through your process, so your mind is active, and you're going to have good Tai Chi posture, and you're going to have to center yourself, not look down like this, because I can't even do it, right? You're going to be upright, okay? Do your best. I'll go a little slower, okay? Good Tai Chi posture, opening up your, let's close it a little bit, okay? All right, make sure your spine is straight. Make sure you're rooted down on the left. We're going to kick up that pile of sand. Begin. Yat, ni, sam, se, look, chat, bat, go, sup. Forward, down, yat, ni, sam, se, look, chat, bat, go, sup. Good. Other side. Kick up the sand. Root down. Yat, ni, sam, se, look, chat, bat, go, sup. Pedal forward. Yat, ni, sam, se, look, chat, bat, go, sup. Good. So if you see what's happening to our ankle is we're pressing down. So we're using this joint here. And then when we come up, we're using the counter, okay? So try that one. I think I did go a little faster than because I'm kind of accustomed to teaching that exercise, so I'm using that same pattern. Second one, we're going to not spend too long, but it is important, is making circles with our foot. So here again, posting down on our left, you can do it with me because it's simple enough. We're going to go clockwise first with our right. Posting down, here we go. Yat, ni, sam, se, look, chut, bat, go, sup, and counterclockwise, yat, ni, sam, say, look, chut, bat, go, sup, okay? Stand on your right, circle with your left. Yat, ni, sam, say, look, chut, bat, go, sup, reverse. Yat, ni, sam, say, look, chut, bat, go, sup. Okay, good. You like it? Yeah, it's kind of different. All right, let's warm up for Tai Chi walk first, okay? Tai Chi walk, actually, yeah, Tai Chi walk. Let's put in Tai Chi walk now, okay? Say going forward, good Tai Chi posture. Pivot out with your right heel, walk in that direction as you shift your weight, out on an L, open the knee around the crotch, shift your weight, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out as if you're walking in the zigzag direction, out on an L, parallel or on the line, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, shift your weight, L stance, open around the crotch, over the heel and down. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that zigzag direction, L stance, open the knees, round the crotch, over the heel and down. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel on an L, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, shift your weight, hold your ball for better balance. L stance, turn the hips and waist, round out your crotch, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, ball for better balance, out on a heel, turn the hips and waist, third parting of the wild horse's mane. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin your ball, watch your right hand go up as your left foot rocks to its toe, up with your left foot, place it on its toe, form your bisecting of your shoulder through the top baby finger. Then drop your front foot and bring that right hand that's higher closer to your body as you bisect to your danten, parallel and higher. Getting you ready for today's lesson, lift up the front foot, multitask to brush your knee. 1, sit back, sit down, pivot, walk in that zigzag direction, ear, heel, hand as an L stance to a bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that direction, shift weight, multitask as you round your crotch to brush your knee. Transition step, half step forward, sit back on the back foot, steer your wheel on the front, rock to the toe, set it on its heel, play your lute. Okay? Going back now, let's not waste our time. Turn and we'll go back, starting with Tai Chi walk. Hands at your waist, pivot out, walk in that zigzag, L stance, round the crotch, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, zigzag direction, out with your heel, round your crotch, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that direction, heel, round the crotch, flatten out, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that zigzag, heel out on an L, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Getting ready to hold your ball, sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel out, round the crotch, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that zigzag as you shift your weight, split your hands on a bow stance. Here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, last one. Hold your ball, heel out, round the crotch, part the wild horse's mane. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin your ball so that you're watching your right hand go up as your left foot is on its toe, lift it up, point it down. White crane spreads its wings. Okay, try it for size. Drop your front foot, bring that top hand closer as you bisect, swirl back, all together, lift up the front, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, parallel higher on a T, ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, parallel higher, ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Half step forward, steer that steering wheel in the front as you rock to your toe, set it on its heel as you sit back on your back foot to play your lute. Okay, very good. Turn around. So that brought you back home approximately. Very good, very good. All right, let's go for the regular way now, going to our left, okay? Starting with commencing form. Okay, good. People are knowing what to do. Okay, good Tai Chi posture going through your spine. Here we go, commencing form. Shift weight to the right, heel comes up on your toe, open, toe, arch, heel. Rotate your hands, bring them up, deep breath in, reverse, relax, make yourself small. T stance without raising your shoulder, hold your ball. Part the wild horse's mane out into the side. Here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel out, bow the leg, second parting of the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel out, round the crotch, final parting of the wild horse's mane. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin your ball, watch your right hand go up. As your left foot goes to its toe, lift up the left, point it out, stretch that knee. White crane spreads its wings. Drop your front foot, bring that top hand closer as you bisect. Swirl back with your left hand, look at the right, lift up the front, turn the hips and waist, hands go for the ride, brush knee one. Sit back, sit down, pivot, shift weight, parallel higher, round the crotch, brush knee two. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that direction, ear, heel, hand round the crotch, brush knee final. Half step forward, sit back on the back foot as you spin your steering wheel on its toe, set it down, play your lute. Okay, stay there. Anything hurting? The back right foot should be aching. If it's not aching, perhaps you can go down a little lower or weight down a little lower. Okay, that's where you want to be. If you don't have that ache, you're a super person, or you need to be weight down a little bit. To get into repulsing of the monkey, which is a backwards Tai Chi walk, you're going to flatten your front foot. You're going to keep the left hand centered, and the right hand raises up back, higher, open both palms to the ceiling. You want that weight still on the back because we can only move the weightless foot, which is the front. You're going to lift up the weightless foot, drop it to its toe, and then its heel as you repulse the monkey. Okay? So we can go back to our places. So if anything that you should remember is, yes, all of what I said, of course. But the most important is that after you play your lute, the weight is all in the back. If the weight is partially in the back, you're going to do not justice to the next movement, which is a backwards Tai Chi walk. So in this position, we're like this. And we know that we're weighted because our knee is flexed. If it's not flexed and I'm straight up, more than likely there's at least 40% of my weight still in my insubstantial foot. They're both substantial. So we cannot do justice to a Tai Chi walk, whether it be back or front, but more so in the back because we're not accustomed to walking backwards. So we want to be safe. We want to bear that weight all in the back so that we can center and keep ourselves strong and safe and higher because it's a counterbalance, and then we're able to lift up and draw back. And then that axle spins. It actually helps me with my backwards walk because I turn on my axle, keeping my core strong, keeping my centering. And the reverse occurs because now I have a clearly insubstantial foot. Okay? So it looks kind of scary and hard, but it's actually, if you understand what we're doing, and you're not doing it for show, but you're doing it because your body says, I can do it because I'm safe and I know what I'm supposed to do to keep myself safe, then there's no problem, okay? To understand and feel how to weight down on your back foot, I'm going to play my lute. When we actually play our lute, can we do it with me? 2 feet are on 2 different lines on that block. We drag the right foot back and we 45-degree it. Okay, can you get yourself into that position, and then just kind of test it out so that you say, I'm not too close, not too far apart, I'm just about what I can handle. Then you take your front foot and you put it on its first flat, put it on its toe, lift it up, put it on its heel. So let me say it again. Both feet are flat. You know that you can flex like I am flexing. You're going to sit back on your back foot, and you're going to rock your front foot to its toe and then set it on its heel. One more time. Sit back on the back foot, lift up, and put it on its heel. Okay, so that seems like it's doable. But when we have our lute, it's helping us this way, okay? It's helping us because the hand position, we're centered, and our hand positions are sort of mimicking our feet position, okay? So I'm going to turn this way, so there's no error there. You're going to come back, you're going to draw back and play your lute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax, come forward, sit back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit back. Now, way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what are we doing this for? To learn to count? No, because I want you to build up that muscle strength in the back foot so that you can be ready for playing your lute and for repulsing of the monkey. So when you have some spare time and you know that you need to sit back a little bit more, try 5 reps of this. All right? Change foot. Okay? So we are now taking it out of context and we're flexing on our back left foot. Therefore, our right hand comes up, our left hand is short. Relax and down. Relax and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax and final. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So don't be confused. Playing the lute in the 24 was the first one, but to balance off grounding yourself and waiting on an equal right and left, we did 2, okay? Any questions on what I covered now? All right, going back to golden cockerel now, okay? So we learned that in golden cockerel, we have to create spirals a little higher in order to enable us to push down a little further, right? If the hand that comes down and sits to the side starts a spiral, we can push down and we can come up. We can start our spiral a little higher, so this hand, front hand, can come up and this one come down. But if we scoop down like this, we're already down. We have no place to go further down because it'll throw our Tai Chi posture off. So we try to create our spirals how? Further, higher. Further, higher. All right, and at the same time, we're spinning on our cable, okay? We are favoring the side that is rooted. We're not really sure where it's rooted, but we are familiar with this exercise. So we know it's the hand that comes down, that's the side that's gonna bear our weight. Okay, and we'll know that as soon as we move our feet. So we know that the spiral's created a little higher because it pushes down. Here we go. Golden cockerel, you're on the wrong side. Set. Okay. So I think that what I just saw is that your golden cockerel now becomes a little softer, a little smoother, because you're taking note of everything that you're doing rather than just going through a routine and coming up and coming down, okay? So that's the way Tai Chi is built on. Every little bit counts towards making things flow and make it continuous and rounded, okay? Very fluid, all right? For kicking out now, we know that we have to gather the energy, center it towards our danten, then rise. As our hand rises up, our foot comes up, and as we stretch out, we counterbalance. And actually, there's one area where I'm very weak in, is that it comes in like this and comes down. It gathers energy as we shift a spiral. The hand comes up at the same time the foot comes up, and then we follow that kick, we come in, and then we come down. Okay, so if you want to watch others do it or do it in a fancier way but safely, that's your call, okay? All right, I'm gonna turn this way. Opening up our span, we're gonna kick out. Good Tai Chi posture, gather energy, bring it in closer to your danten, come up at the same time, follow the kick. Last set. and then hold your ball. Here we go. T stance, L stance, bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, root down, ball and T, L stance, round the crotch, bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, root down, center with the ball and a T, L stance, bow the legs, round the crotch, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, ball and T, L, round the crotch, over the heel, and down. Sit back, sit down, pivot, ball and T, out on an L, round the crotch, over the heel, and down. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, center with the ball, out and to the side, round the crotch, over the heel, and down. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher, all together, spiral, hands go for the ride as you brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, spiral up, spiral to your shoulder on a T, think it through. Out on an L, round the crotch, over the heel, and down. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, center with the parallel higher, all together. Heel, ear, turn, hips and waist, hands go for the ride. Sit back, sit down, pivot, come up to your shoulders slowly and rounded on a T, all together, round the crotch, over the heel, brush knee. One last set, sit back, twist, spiral up, out, open the knee over the heel, brush knee. Last one, sit back, sit down, pivot, up to your shoulder, round on a T, all together, open the knee, round the crotch, hands go for the ride. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball in a T stance, okay? And then ask yourselves, are you rooted down? Are your shoulders dropped down? Is your spine straight up? Okay? Okay, relax. So oftentimes when I videotape, I look around and I glance at what the class, what you folks are doing, and a lot of times I see this. What's wrong with doing this? Are you supposed to do this? Do it with me. Hold your ball. Do this. Drop down. Do this. Drop down. Do you see that when you do this, you're actually creating tension? You are already centered with the T, and I saw many of you like this. But once you lift this thing up, you have weighted feet. You want to create, you don't want to do something that counters what you're setting your feet up to do. If we say that this is the rooted foot, and this is the substantial, and this is the moving foot, it's the only foot that can move because there's hardly any weight, why would you raise your shoulders and create weight on that insubstantial foot? There's no sense. You're countering what we have established. So I should never see anybody's shoulder raise, even though they're going to part the wild horse's mane. You can still keep your shoulders where they're supposed to be and still part the wild horse's mane. Okay? Don't forget to come out this way. You don't want to just come here. You want to do what the front hand does and what the back hand does in a symmetrical way. Okay? Okay. What is too tight? Huh? Yeah. So Ken's telling me also that if you raise your shoulders and you come up here, you're too tight. You want to drop and you relax and you want to post yourself. Okay, so don't get into that dilemma. And I do see people, and let's practice cloud hands, okay? Using that same technique where, yes, our hands are here, but our shoulder is still dropped, okay? So this is cloud hands in the 24, which is something new for all of you, okay? Or many of you, okay? So I'm gonna start you at 3 o'clock, and we're out this way, okay? Begin. 12 o'clock, drop shoulders now. Shoulders should always be dropped. 9 o'clock, flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock, middle cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, flip the hands, open the feet. No raising of shoulders. Using your hips and waist. 9 o'clock, flip meet, close your feet. 12 o'clock, cup. 3 o'clock, flip the hands, open the feet. This is a drill, so we're going to go on a little bit more. 9 o'clock, flip the hands, open, close. Okay, so what we are trying to establish is there's no sense in raising those shoulders, but there's a lot of things going on because our hips and waist are swiveling on that axle. Are they? Let's go the other way now, okay? So use your hips and waist, not your hands. If your hips and waist don't move, you can't move. Okay, go along with that premise. Move that hips and waist. Okay, last one because I think we're almost at our home. Okay, hook the back hand, look at it. On a T, left hand across the face. You're going to mimic your left foot and your left hand. Out on a T, L, turn the palm, push out. Okay, that's another transition step that we could easily get into, and we'll learn slowly, okay? So we found that in doing cloud hands and building up to it, we said that our hands could be any place and it would move because it's being dictated by how much and what extent my hips and waist were doing, right? So it could be any place, but as long as my hips and are moving, my hands will go for the ride. If we did not understand that premise, our hands would lead us, and this is not Tai Chi. There's no coordination of the upper body with the lower body. In Tai Chi, we emphasize that both things have to be working simultaneously. Okay? That's how the hands go for the ride. And that's why the hips and waist are the drivers of our movements. Okay? All right. Going over now how Tai Chi walk can be incorporated, or vice versa, how the first 6 movements of Yang 24 can be incorporated into Tai Chi walk, okay? So we're going to go sideways because the length of the movements warrant more room than going forward, okay? Good Tai Chi posture going through your spine. Shift weight to the right to allow our heel to come up on our toe. Open, toe, arch heel, rotate. Deep breath in as we elevate. Shoulder level. Tuck those elbows in, flex the knees, make yourself small. Round out with the ball, shift your weight to the back foot, T stance. Out and to the side, round out your crotch, part the wild horse's mane. 1, sit back, sit down. We're taking it slowly, so don't worry, I'll have time for you to move. Hold your ball for better balance, out on an L, round the crotch, part the wild horse's mane 2. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, shift weight, hold ball, round the crotch, final parting of the wild horse's mane. Make sure that the front hand is at least eye level. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin your ball, sit back on your back or right foot, lift up the right hand, rock the front foot, set it on its toes, lift it up, point out, extend the knee, white crane spreads its wing, weight on the back. Okay, can you lower yourself to show me that you're rooted on your back? which then allows us to bring the top hand closer to our body, the elbow straight down, and then drop the hand to bisect towards your danten. Swirl back, look at the top, right. Lift up the left on its heel, turn the hips and waist, brush knee, 1. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, shift weight, parallel higher, heel out on an L, turn the hips and waist, brush knee, 2. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, shift weight, parallel higher L, round the crotch, multitask, final brush knee. Half step forward, sit back on the back foot as if you're steering the wheel in the front. On the toe of your front, put it down on its heel, positioning your hands to play your lute. The left hand is higher, the right hand is dipped inwards, closer to the elbow of your left hand. Drop your front foot, center the front hand, look at the back hand that's higher, open to the ceiling. Weight on the back, right? Lift up the front foot to its toe, lead as you bring it to the ear, meet in the center as you repulse the monkey. Center the front hand, left hand higher, open, weight on the back, all together. Ear, toe, heel. Pivot, meet in the center, draw back as your right hand goes to your hip. Center, on your toe of the front, glance at the back, lift up, toe, heel, meet in the center, repulse. 3. Center, higher, on the toe of your front, glance, lift up, toe, ear, heel, meet, pivot, slide. Hold your ball on a T stance. Here's something you're rewarded to do now. You're going to ward off, out and to the side, forearm your opponent. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, bring down the bird's tail as you look back. Contact, turn at the hips and waist, push out from the center. Separate your hands and roll back and sit down. Come up, lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, shift your weight, form a T and a ball, out on an L, round your crotch as you forearm your opponent, turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, grasp the bird's tail, turn at the hips and waist, contact, turn at the hips and waist, push out, separate, roll back and sit down, come up, lunge forward, sit back, sit down, pivot. Stem of the left hand is 12 o'clock, right hand is a cup, spin out to the 9 o'clock, flip the hands, 12 o'clock stem cup, 3 o'clock hook, shift your weight, T stance. Left hand up by your face, take an L stance, follow with your left hand, your left foot, turn the wrist out. Okay? So, yeah, you did a lot. I taught a lot, or I semi-taught a lot, but you ended up the same way, in the same form. Okay, so very good. Give yourself credit. Okay, no one has taught you this, I don't think, forever, right? This is brand new. All right, just thinking about how we did our, so something happened here, we did a hook, and something happened here, we did a this, okay? So let's see, maybe we only thought our ankles were weak, but maybe we need to realize that there's something going on in our wrists. Follow me? Hands stretched out so that the energy is all the way to your fingertips. Make circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stretch out your arms. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Palms are up. Reverse. Yat, ni, sam, se, look, chat, bat, gao, sup. Good. So let's incorporate that one now, okay? So here again, the sensation is stretched, your chest feels very stretched out, and you know, it's easier to do it this way, you know, relax, but we want that energy to flow all the way to our fingertips. So once you've established that, then you relax your wrists to do the turning, okay? And full turn rather than stop. Full turn, don't stop. Turn it, so that you're actually using the muscles in your wrists just the way you use them in your pedaling of your bicycle, okay? So you might want to try those out and get them warmed up, get them activated again.
Yeah. Lucy introduced some stuff today, and she introduced that, or she mentioned that I've been doing some reading, and sometimes it's dangerous, I guess. But I came across an article which is not Tai Chi initiated, but it mentions how Tai Chi mixes in or is compatible with vestibular rehabilitation. I spent a career as an ear surgeon and ear doctor with dizzy people, trying to first distinguish whether the dizzy was because of something other than the inner ear, and then working with that or sending them on to therapy with a physical therapist to do various exercises. And this article mentions how Tai Chi contributes, which was very, very interesting. The first was, in one case, we don't mention, but in what we teach, there is some application. Heretofore, we've not mentioned use or exercise of the ankle. And this vestibular rehabilitation says good ankle function is important for balance. And that's why we're taking Tai Chi for most of us. I presume none of us are trying to do it for martial arts. Okay, I'm not. I'm just trying to teach people how to move their bodies and strengthen their bodies. And one of the things, her exercises today with, taking yet another Chinese exercise, what she teaches is Lutunken, and they do specific exercises for hands and wrists and for ankles. So that's where that's coming from. And then they had some concepts which really helped me put things in categories. Human beings are lumpers and splitters. Some guys want to go down every rat hole, and some guys say, just give me the basics of how all things apply. So lumpers and splitters. This allowed me to sort of semi-lump things together. The article said, Tai Chi helps you in terms of trying to learn or understand two concepts. One is postural orientation, and the other one is postural equilibrium. They're not quite the same, but they're sort of related. Postural orientation is just teaching you how different parts of your bodies affect your orientation to the world. And one of the basic things we teach is Tai Chi posture, okay? You are trying to, if your head is sticking out this way, this becomes a liability. Or if it's back this way, it's a liability. So how you put your head, as well as other parts of your body, if you're going this way with one hand and you don't counterbalance, you're going to keep going in this direction. But if you bring it in, you consolidate and you center, okay? But this is the difference between being out here and here. And that's postural orientation. The other is postural equilibrium, which is you use your posture, how you put your body parts together. And I've discussed this a little bit in terms of, us trying to get to one stable position, substantial, and you're centered, okay? Versus, and you can go to other ones throughout the whole, whatever form you're learning. You can pick that apart. And postural equilibrium is trying to stay in balance. In other words, some people say, oh, you got poor equilibrium, that is, you got poor balance, okay? But trying to get into favorable postural equilibrium, hold your ball, everything is postural equilibrium. And then Tai Chi is trying to teach you strategies on how to move and yet maintain postural equilibrium. Well, you just did brush knee. Some of you did it in the way I think you take advantage of postural equilibrium, that is, move your body in the optimum relationship to maintain stability through all the movements. For instance, it says higher than parallel. So you're down here and you're sort of centered, but you want to get really centered. See, you come here and here. That's why you can't do this. You're swinging and you're going to go that way, but to catch yourself from falling over, you're going to bring this over. But by the same token, you want to go back in this direction, but you have to somehow get yourself collected. So it's up high, collected, and you reinforce the collection. And then, at your leisure, because you can come from here, this gives you one position of balance. You maintain equilibrium. This one, as you're about to move. Okay? So that's just an example. But as you do your Tai Chi, people are at different levels of understanding. Some are still just a sequence. If I just get my arms and legs in a gross approximation, that's good enough for now. And that's fine, depending on where you're at. But there comes a time for challenging yourself. You say, why am I doing this? What is the core meaning of this? Not in a martial arts way, but core meaning in terms of how do I maintain or develop good balance. And you think about the two concepts. Postural equilibrium and postural orientation. What are my arms and hands and legs and the rest of my body doing in terms of affecting which way my body is going to be going? And then you use that, you establish what is equilibrium from the still standpoint, and then as you move, your postural relationships affect how well you move with equilibrium. A little bit long-haired, but sit down and think about it a little bit. It grows on you.
Commencing form, shift weight onto your toe, off the ground. Hands rotate, deep breath in as we elevate. Reverse, making yourself small. Shift your weight as you hold your ball. Part the wild horse's mane. 1. Sit back, out, shift weight, part the wild horse's mane. 2. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, part the wild horse's mane. Final. Half step forward, hold your ball, spin your ball to the right as you bring up the right hand on the toe of your left, stretch it out. White crane spreads its wings. Drop your front foot as you bisect your body. Swirl back to look at your right hand that's higher. Lift up the front foot. Hands go for the ride. Brush knee 1. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, multitask. 2, brush knee, 2, sit back, sit down, pivot out, and brush knee, final. Half step forward, steer that driving wheel to its toe, set it on its heel, play your lute. Drop your front foot, center your front hand, glance at the back hand, lift up, repulse of the monkey, 1, center higher, root down, repulse of the monkey, 2, center, glance higher, way into the back, 3, center, higher, glance, lift up, modify that foot, final repulsing of the monkey. Hold your ball in a T stance. We're going to grasp the bird's tail. First out on an L to ward off. Turn the hips and waist, keep your feet planted, flat. Look back, contact, turn, push out. Separate and roll back. Come up, lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, other side. T and ball. L, round the crotch, ward off. Turn hips and waist. Reposition as you look back. Contact, turn, push out. Separate, roll back, sit down. Spiral up, then forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot, cup at 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands. T-step at 3 o'clock, hook. Out on an L stance, single whip. Sit back, sit down, pivot, cup, 3 o'clock. Cloud hands, 1 rotation. Use your hips and waist. Second rotation. 2 things happen at 9. Third rotation. 2 things happen at 9. 3 o'clock, hook the hand, T-step, out and to the side, second single whip. Half step forward. Sit back on the back foot as you rock the front foot. Lift it up as you pat your horse on its mane. Cross at the wrist. Step out with your left heel, palms down. Gather energy. Where did you hear that? Up with your right foot, up with your right hand. Kick out, in, drop gently on an L stance on your heel as you look through your double punch, punching your opponent in his ears, at his ears. Sit back, sit down, open that fist, spin all the way around, left hand on the outside, left foot coming up, kick out in line, hook, down with your toe as you're a serpent, slithering through the grass and coming up as a golden cockerel. Down with your toe, spin, hook, serpent the other way, the hardest movement of all. Coming up again, golden cockerel on its right. Extend the knee as you hold your ball. You're a maiden using a shuttlecock to weave on her loom. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, ball, L stance, spin the ball, push that shuttlecock, place it there. Half step to the back, cross the hips and waist. You're going down to the bottom of the seat to find that needle. One hand comes up, joined by the second hand, then your foot, start in the middle, flash arms like a fan. We're going to rock, we're going to pivot, we're going to have a fist and a hand going down. We're going to spin out to deflect, bring it into parry, and then punch. Don't worry because we're ending touch. Sit back, roll back, spiral up, then out, closing form. The apparently closing. Twist, open, in, embrace the tiger as we bring him up, closer to ourselves, push him away one final time. Relax those shoulders as you flex your knees, wrap around, heel up, off the ground, toe down, closing form.